Hey everybody, what's going on? Good morning, good evening, good night. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a great time out there. My deepest apologies. I had a recording that I had scheduled and it went way over when I was supposed to finish. So I was halfway through it, couldn't pull out of it. So sometimes you just can't pull out. You know, you're just in and you can't pull out. That being said, guys, appreciate everybody here. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. I appreciate you. But so without further ado, I want to bring in a very base Chad, a good friend of mine, and a guy who I brought on for Weeb Wednesday because I wanted to talk with him a little bit because he's had some really good videos that have come out recently. And also I wanted to get his opinion on certain of these matters. So of course I got my friend, the base, the great, the Teaman. How's it going? Teaman.
Oh, you're live.
Yes, we're live. We're live.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am the Teaman, as you know, with a very poor camera. There we go. Oh, so you've been watching some of my videos lately. I didn't know that. I thought I was alone.
Yeah, I have actually been watching your videos because you had some really good ones. I think that your one that I really liked, was your one that was the Wish video you did. I thought that was really good. Actually, let me show your channel here real quick, Dragon's Treasure. So I thought that was absolutely good because we need people that are acknowledging what they're doing here. And your video is brilliant here, Dragon's Treasure. And this is Dragon's Treasure channel. 14K subs. Need to get those up. Let's get them to 15K, guys.
Yes, if you guys haven't seen on my Twitter, if I make it to 15,000 subscribers before 2024, I will have sex with 15,000 people. It could be anybody on the planet. They could even be in South Korea.
Okay.
They don't need you. They don't need you volunteer.
So
getting up to at 15,000, I'll make it happen.
All right. Okay. That's a pretty extreme promise there, but all right. Okay. So yeah, the Wish video, really good. I liked it. I mean, to me, let me just say the one thing I really liked was that, you know, you talked about the villain that's in the movie, the guy Magnifico, whatever. He shouldn't be a villain. In fact, he sounds like a pretty good guy until they do the mustache twirl, you know, cartoony twist, right? It's like, oh wait, you're saying that somebody is saying that you need to balance individual desires with the common good. I think that's called ruling, and I think that's called also being just. It actually would be quite tyrannous to give everyone exactly what they wanted because people want to rule over each other, right? People want to conquer each other. People might want to do something that involves killing somebody else. You shouldn't give somebody what they wish for because their wish might actually involve hurting other people. Or damaging other people or whatever else. So you have to balance that against the needs of everyone, right? That's the power. That's the importance of ruling. But saying, oh no, that's toxic, that's evil, that's, you know, that's a villain, right? That's villainous to say you need to balance the needs of the many. That's actually dangerous. That's actually legitimately dangerous for society. I really like that. I just want to say that's one of the things I really liked about that video. I don't know if you have more to say about it, but.
I probably have a lot I could have said. There was a couple of things people brought up in the comments.
Sorry, it worked me up. It really worked me up. It really, I really enjoyed that. Like truly, I watched that video when you dropped it and I was like, wow, this is really good. I just want to say.
Yeah, originally, so would you do a quick little backstory? In November, I kind of just threw in the towel when it came to YouTube stuff, and I began to release just low quality, low effort, clickbait garbage crap. And it's been one of the biggest growths in my channel I've ever seen, which really depressed the hell out of me. And the Wish video, the one you saw on screen was my second one where I did a live stream where I went over it and basically rewrote it. I gave two different versions of how I thought. One, if you wanted the villain to be a sympathetic villain, or two, if you wanted him to be a traditional, just always evil type of villain. And I think I made it much better than what Disney did.
Yeah, if you want to, and there's the two ways. Like if you just want him to be like a bad guy, right? Just make him a bad guy, or make him corrupt. Make him like, oh yeah, I only grant my friends' wishes. I'm like, all right, well you could have done that, right? Like a nepotistic sort of thing where it's like, well, I like this guy and I don't like this guy, so I'm just going to do it this way, right? Or you could do some sort of twist where, okay, he was a good guy at one point, but there was some like corruption that came in there at some point, or some thirst for power or something else that happened, and you could go that route. But they decided to just make him cartoonish and in an illogical way, which is very much Disney.
So for the Weeb video, it was going to be, because I saw the trailer, I had an idea of what they were going to do, and I was planning to just do another quick little 8-minute clickbait video crap that was just, the same thing you see everywhere else, just going over the plot and saying bad thing is bad. But then when I actually watched it, because reasons, it hits a lot of, it struck a lot of nerves because of some of the stuff. It was much worse than I anticipated.
What was the biggest thing that made people angry?
That made people angry or me angry?
Well, either, whatever one. Yeah.
For me, it was the length that they went to turn the beautiful ideals and overall good character of the villain and just associate otherwise good things with bad things with almost no effort thrown into it whatsoever. The biggest thing I've seen a lot of people say, and I fully agree with this, is that it feels like the movie was made by two different people. Like the beginning was made by one guy and the ending was made by another, and at no point did they ever talk to each other. Because the switch that the villain did was so sudden and so strong, just coming out of nowhere. All it did was it took a lot of good things for the quote-unquote villain. I mean, again, in the beginning of this thing, the guy went off just with him and his wife to create the island. Nobody was forced to come. They came by their own free will, their own volition.
That's very important right there. That point alone, right? It's like he didn't force anybody to come here. He didn't take over an existing kingdom. That's the big part. They voluntarily came and then they decide to complain. And like, then there's an issue when you voluntarily come and you're allowed to leave as well, right? It doesn't seem like there's anything keeping them from leaving, right? Yep. So they're allowed to leave. And this is his problem?
Yeah. And so they built this guy up. He spent a lot of time working towards his sorcery. He's a happy guy. Everybody loves him. The kingdom is happy. The kingdom is well. He's doing all these good things. So they show in the beginning of the movie, he says that he will not grant most people's wishes because, well, various reasons. Either they don't know what they want, it's too vague, as he says at one point. He only grants once he feels is best for the people and Rosas. The other ones, he could do other things with them, as we find out, but he chooses not to. He chooses to take care of them like every other wish.
Yes.
And they were trying to make him seem like such a bad guy for not granting every single person's wish. Disney seems to have forgotten what the message of Disney was. With Pinocchio, when they had the whole wish thing, he didn't just get exactly what he wanted. He got the beginnings of his wish, and he had a long track to get to becoming a real boy. He didn't just magically become the real boy right away. And so the movie is trying to play off this idea that you deserve everything you wish for, no matter what.
Which is dangerous. And even in the movie where it shows, one guy's wish was like taking over the world, right? And it's like, well, that involves like conquering, killing, dominating other folks. So like, I'm sure that is a conflict with, what if two wishes are granted and they're in conflict? Which one controls, right? If one guy wants to take over the world, another guy wants to take over the world, how do you grant both wishes? Do you just create a new world? Are you creating an alternate dimension where those people are in control of the world? I don't know how you do that, right? What if one person wants to be the best singer and the other person wants to be the best singer? How do you resolve that? You can't have two of the best, right? So the thing is that sort of thinking that you can just get what you want, right? That you can just, okay, we're going to enable this magical thinking. I know Disney wants to do this because of Disney adults. And I've had that stream on Disney adults, is that's their market. Their market is now majority Disney adults who just want to believe in delusional things. And I think it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous because they're bringing people down this primrose path of, okay, it's not children, it's not children's entertainment. It's stay in this state of suspended belief, right? And
it's funny because
that is bad.
Because this movie, usually with a Disney movie, especially back in the day, aka seeing in the 30s, back in the day, they were family movies, things for the kids and the adults. Everybody would have loved it. This movie was just for kids. There was nothing for the adults in this thing. It was purely childish. The
Oh,
only
yeah.
time they address the idea of maybe something could be offered to wishes is Asha, the main character, said one line of, if somebody has a bad wish, we could try and stop them. But otherwise, and she's like going like, yeah, give
And I like
everybody
that, like try, you know, like what does that mean? Like what, huh?
Something funny, which so this movie was supposed to do, I guess, two things. One was give the origin story of the wishing star, like the one we saw in Pinocchio, and the other one, the origin story of the fairy godmother. Asha, the black lady, was supposed to be the fairy godmother. I find it funny that the first thing she wished for is to become white.
Yeah, that's an interesting it's an interesting move there. I just say that's an interesting move. It's a very,
Like, what are they
very
trying to say
interesting-
with this?
Let's get whiter here, you know. Let's go here and become much whiter. No, yeah, that's obviously a problem, right? I mean, but and also like the ending where everybody just kind of ends up conveniently in their own place and then trying to segue. I get why they did the this is the 100th anniversary, so everybody ends up everywhere, that sort of thing. But it ultimately ends up lame. Okay, let's get a couple of these chats. These are kind of funny. Brandon Lesko for $4.99 says, how many times is it legal for me to teabag your guest and still have plausible deniability?
I'm
Teaman?
used to it. As many times
Used to
as you
getting
want.
teabagged. Used to get teabagged. Adam Wopard says, has anyone seen the Netflix trailer for Gundam Requiem for Vengeance? Is it me, or does Gundam look like more like Gundams for the A-Team? Wait, hold on. I have not seen this. Hold on, let me see this. I'd be okay with that. If they look more like A-Team. I did not. I'm trying to look at, see if I can pull this up. I don't think we can play the the trailer. I think we might get in some trouble there, but
It's a small trailer. There's not too much is shown.
you think it's all right?
I don't know if it'll be alright. It's like a minute and a half, I think.
A minute and a half.
Yeah, the real point of it is to show off the artwork more than anything, because you don't really see much. Nothing really.
Let's semi EFAP. I'm not good at this. This is not something I'm really skilled at, but we'll play it. We'll play it here real quick. Fuck it, guys! Smash the like button on this and see where we are. Where we at right now? We're at 95. Let's get to 100 likes. So at least when I'm demonetized, it's all right. So all right, here we go. We've got Mobile Suit Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. This is the trailer here. So I'm gonna go very slowly on this. Teaser. Okay, so first of all, stopping here, like really quick, this looks like CG to me. I mean, this first part.
It's CG. It's not.
It's all CG. Now, yeah. I will say though, with this, pretty cool to see the gals, like the gals, and also like showing flak. That's actually pretty cool. Like like I like that effect, like the bombers in World War II effect of the flak. That's pretty cool. Right. Okay, so that's all right. Okay, so you've got the tanks, right? So this is the one that flies, right? So it's a tank with like the flying top, right? Because like the top can pop off and fly around, if I recall correctly, right?
I'm not a Gundam guy, so I don't know.
Oh, you're not a Gundam guy?
Nope,
I think okay, Gundam people. Gundam Weeb's in the chat. Cannot the Xeon tank, can't the top of the tank like come off and fly? Am I wrong on that? Someone's saying rocket feet. There's something going on there. Somebody says Unreal Engine 5. Okay, somebody said no music, so here, there you go. I'll just do it that way. Okay. So actually, there's probably no music here. I mean, this doesn't look to me like A-Team yet. Okay, this looks like this cockpit, this thing. This doesn't look super A-Team on me yet.
Red Wolves, prepare to drop.
It's UC79. I will say though, I do like the Universal Century. I am a big fan of the Universal Century because it's cohesive and because there's a timeline that you can follow and it interlinks with other stories. When you get into the other universes, they're kind of all standalone. And look, it's cool to have a standalone universe. I like Gundam Wing. I like some of the other standalone universes. The Fighting Gundam, I think that's a great one. But that being said, Universal Century, I think, takes it for a cohesive storyline. Okay, so pretty good music here, getting a little bit of hype. All right. I'm with it. I'm with it so far. Okay, so definitely the main conflict, because this is supposed to be the opening of this story would be in the opening of Zeon versus the Federation. So it's not down the line. It's not when the Federation is rocking like a million Gundams and they're out there about to take the Zeon home base. This is in the beginning. It's on Earth. I think that's when the battles are cooler. They're more desperate, right? When one Zaku makes a huge difference. So like they can show a Zaku and people are like, oh my God, it's a Zaku, because they've just got like tanks and rocket launchers and they're trying to take out the Zaku. Yeah, okay. So that it looks all right. I don't think it looks like 8th Team. I know there's some posters here and maybe people said it looks like 8th Team based on something like this, right? Because there's this poster here. This sort of looks like 8th Team from a poster standpoint a little bit, but when you figure out it's CG, to be honest, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't like CG. It's not the same. It's not what I grew up with. It's not what I looked at. It looks okay, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be running out there to see it like right away. I might wait on what people say about it. I don't know about you and how you feel about CG, Teaman.
If they can make it work, fantastic, but they usually can't. So
yeah,
they need a few more years of behind the scenes practice before they start putting this stuff live. That's how I feel about it.
I think it's not ready for prime time.
No,
some of this is certainly not ready for prime time. All right, so let me get a couple other of these. Vinzinger, aka El Otaku, aka Weeb Pillar. Sup, amigos? I made 2 Santa Claus paper theaters. Nice. Mario Trujillo says, the term unintentional irony always comes to mind when it comes to the woke. They think faults are bad when in fact faults make a character more likable. Yes, Teaman, man, I cannot tell you how many stories, if they just gave them a flaw, right? If Rey just made one mistake, if she's like, oh, and she admitted it, she's like, I made a mistake, this is a fuck up, or whatever, something happens that clearly is a mistake, right? Like she's fighting Kylo Ren in the first fight and she gets her arm chopped off because she doesn't know what she's doing with a lightsaber, right? That would make her a much more likable character, right? Yeah. If she's like, F around and find out in the very first fight, where she tries to fight him and is like, oh, I'm clearly not capable of doing this. And then she could get bailed out by some Deus Ex Machina, or, maybe somebody strafes Kylo Ren in a fighter, right? Like she's losing, right? And somebody like strafes him, so he has to back off, and then they save her and pull her out, and her wound is cauterized because it's a lightsaber. That would be a better story. And then Rey gets like a metal arm, like that would be cooler. She turns to like General Grievous, and then she also becomes, maybe there's a villain arc there where she becomes the villain and he becomes the hero. That would be a better story. But yeah, they don't do that. They don't do
one of the issues in Wish is the main character was quite literally from the beginning of the movie to the end the same exact person. There was no lesson learned. There was no bad thing that she did. End of movie, beginning of movie, same exact person. Nothing changed.
Yeah. And that's the problem. And the thing is, if you look at most of the animes, especially the most of the animes that I love, the characters from beginning to end are much different. Gurren Lagann, right? One that you've covered, one that you've done a lot on. That main character, the main character is absolutely a different person in the beginning. He's a scared, frightened boy in the beginning, and he becomes a dude, right? He becomes a guy. He becomes a man, right? Throughout the story, he becomes somebody who's confident, who's independent, who's a leader, when he was not any of those things. So that's what we like to see in people. That's what we like to see in animes. It's what we like to see, that people are changing. And also just it's something I feel right now, you know, Teaman, the possibility of improvement and change, even for adults, even for people that are older, when you see that they're able, that they're hardened, that they're some way they're just their heart is hardened, or they're mean, or they're nasty, but they've got a redeemable quality, but they've got something that can make them into a better person or improve them. That's what makes a good story to me. Just thinking about that in stories is it's always really a nice thing.
Yeah, in the East, you're always self-perfecting. In the West, you're fine just the way you are. That's why people like me gravitate towards the East so much.
Yeah, that's actually very true, and it's more rooted in Buddhism, which you know, has a constant state of perfecting, reflection. Even folks when they're older are always reflecting, right? They're thinking, they're reflecting. They're not thinking, okay, I've reached this sanctified state where I'm untouchable. And in fact, by the way, I don't think that's something that's unique to Eastern religion. I think it's also in Western religion. The problem is that folks have corrupted our culture in the West. That's the problem. Our culture focused on progress and improvement has been deemed white supremacy, right? Because objective success is white supremacy. So, you know, there's that. Anyways, Japanese demon lord Aberi Lucifer says, I love that long name. Awesome. There's going to be an announcement for the second part of Mushoku Tensei on the 20th. Really? Okay. So Jobless Reincarnation, for those who don't know, the second part will be announced. Now, Jobless Reincarnation is very long. It's not done yet, from what I understand.
The light novel is, but the anime still's got a way to go.
Yeah. So you've got a lot to go on the anime and the manga, right? So
and so for those who have not seen it, if you don't know, I have a particular disdain for isekai, but this one, just as a show, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen in general, and I crown it as the best isekai that exists right now.
Yeah, it is absolutely. It's absolutely. It's absolutely one of the best. I think that in terms of looking at the character from the beginning, a lot of people would say he's irredeemable, whatever. Some people might have liked him in the beginning because they can identify with him as a pervert and a scoundrel. But you see, he's redeemed and he's made into a good person. And not just that, he's given the opportunities, right? He's given the opportunity to live up to his potential. And he does that from a moral standpoint, from a ability standpoint, and from a perseverance standpoint. Alfarius Omegan says, breaking news, Kishida's mask off. He just fired the guy in charge of the protections committee, aka the women's protection committee, aka Lady Boy Control Committee, and two more who opposed hate speech laws and mass immigration. So let me see this here. Real quick. This is the I think one of the articles on it. So this is premier to reshuffle cabinet and bid to stay in the top job. Kishida seeks to contain worst scandal to hit party in decades. 4 ministers are in line for replacement. So yeah, he's out there shuffling folks. He's out there moving folks around. We'll see what happens. I'll see how this plays out. But one thing I want to say, guys, this is something I kind of got passionate about when I was on the show. I believe it was with WDW Pro. And no, it was Midnight's Edge maybe as well. Those guys were talking, and they were talking about what's going to happen over here in Asia and Japan. And I would just say, guys, be very careful when you use the paradigms of the West and the East, because they don't often work. And what you're hearing a lot of the times when you hear, okay, everybody is this way or X and Y is happening, which is what we're going to talk about today, it's just not true. I'll be back in Japan. I believe, I'm going to look at the calendar. In a week and a half, I'll be back next weekend. I will be back in Japan for a short period of time. I have some family that's going there to visit, so I'm going to go visit them. The average Japanese person, which is certainly the person I interact with day to day, the people I talk to, they're not down with the trans agenda. They're not down with the woke shit. They're not down with all that stuff. It is a certain segment of people, and it just hasn't stuck in the mainstream the way it's stuck in the West. In fact, the narratives that they use in the West to shame people into compliance don't work in Japan, right? You can't call everybody a bunch of evil white supremacists when that's 99% of the population is one particular ethnicity. So you can't shame people based on that. They kind of don't care. They're like, yeah, and right. We're all Japanese and we're proud of that. Right. So it's not really a narrative that works as strongly in Japan. We're going to talk about today with a lot of things. Pure Revere says the curtain looks amazing. I like it a lot. Thank you so much. This is my our beach studio. We use it for Bangkok Bros. I'm gonna use it a lot more for filming when I'm here in Bangkok and be here in Thailand. I like it very much, but I'm setting everything up to optimize it. Also, right now it's the morning, so the way the sun is coming in is very strong. So I'm pretty bright, looking pretty bright right now, like abnormally bright. Might even say I'm glowing. Okay, here we go. Every male character in anime is a closeted what?
Probably means homo.
Oh, well. What do you
I'm
think
guessing
about
homo
that?
is one of the words that's blocked.
Okay.
Every male character in anime is closeted homo.
I think you're reading too much yaoi.
No.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're like, the thing is, you're probably looking at, and I can't blame you for this, a lot of the anime stands are like the yaoi shippers who will, go out there with every single anime and make every male character gay, right? To be like, oh yeah, these guys are gay for each other. These friends are gay for each other. These people are gay for each other. That's a specific type of person, but they're pushed to the side for a reason, right? Those people are like pushed to the side and kept in a corner. And certainly, look, I don't promote that sort of thing.
This reminds me. Are you aware of what Twitch did today?
Twitch did something today. If you want to share an article, if you've got an article or something,
you don't know. Oh boy,
you can share it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I am.
Like if you've got something.
Oh, I got something. They changed the policies, basically say, okay, we are now officially a softcore porn site.
Oh, yes, because they have I did see they had some people were saying about the tag with P-Hub, where they're allowing in the chat command P-Hub. So essentially it directly sends them to Pornhub, pretty much straight.
I actually don't know about that one, but this is something else. So basically now you can show titties.
Wait, what?
You can now basically show titties if you say it's for art or some other bullshit, and people have already been taking a lot of advantage of it.
Okay, so let's see what this is, because this means nothing. This is the whole nothing burger. Updating our approach to sexual content and content classification labels. Mind you, by the way, this is what's so bad about this. Twitch is a platform that is mainly populated by children, right? Right. There are mainly teenagers on this platform. That's why of all the platforms, Twitch is kind of interesting because it's getting children, it's grooming children into the simp economy, into the pay for girls economy, which is not good. And I know not everybody is a child. Okay, I get it, but a lot of people are. Like most Twitch users are minors. This statement is true. Not all, but most Twitch users are minors.
I'm going to share you something in the private chat. Do not pull it up on screen, otherwise you're going to get immediately banned. But this is what people are already doing today.
Okay. Well, let me just read this real quick. We've received feedback around sexual content is confusing and difficult to interpret. We want to say we're making two changes: streamlining our policies regarding sexual content and updating the criteria for homepage recommendations. So essentially, you can find the full policy language here. Okay, so I'll pull that up real quick. So essentially now, okay, here we go. What is changing with this new update? Okay, here we go. So some types of content that are prohibited will now be allowed on Twitch if appropriately labeled. Previously prohibited, but now allowed with label. Content that deliberately highlighted breasts, buttocks, or pelvic, even when fully clothed. So now you can do this. Look at this. In addition, the former sexually suggestive content policy was out of line with industry standards and resulted in female presenting streamers being disproportionately penalized. Yeah, it's because guys don't make money from showing their breasts, butt, and pelvis, right? That's not something guys make money on.
Trust me, I've tried. I get nothing from it.
Fictionalized, fully exposed female presenting breasts or genitals, regardless of gender. Wow. So now you can just show full-on hentai.
Yep. Look at the link I sent you.
So now you can show full-on. And then next, body writing on female presenting. I love the presenting, by the way. It's great. Or buttocks, regardless of gender. So I love this. I love how this is the best thing about the woke. This is the best thing about the woke. They keep the gender references even when they pretend they're not talking about gender, right? So like, what is female presenting? What does female presenting mean? What is a female to you? Just like, what is a woman? What is a female? What is a female? Erotic dances that involve disrobing, such as strip teases, are now allowed. So stripping is openly allowed on Twitch. Twerking, grinding, and pole dancing are allowed without a label. So yeah, it's a porn platform now. Twitch is now a porn platform.
And I'm fucking livid.
Wow.
Because people know I am.
This is right. Thought levels are going to intensify over 9,000. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's one of those things. People always been confused why for years now I've been ranting against the Kumers and saying, just keep the sex stuff out. It's one thing to make jokes, but the way I put it is, for every 100 Kumers who say they're totally being ironic, guys, this isn't actually me. I'm just being ironic. I'm actually a normal person. Maybe one of those fucking 100 people actually are like that. The rest, no, you're fucking nuts. You're actually a Kumer. You're actually addicted. No, you can't just stop whenever you want. And what happens is, the reason why gatekeeping exists, one of the things I talk about a lot, is because you're going to bring this shit to the things I like. You're going to turn websites like Twitch into basically softcore porn sites. And then you're going to wonder why I get pissed off. Because now I don't know what to go if I want to just watch some good old-fashioned video games. Oh, this looks like a nice little video game, and click on that, and oh man.
Well, that's been the way Twitch has been for a while, right? Because it started, and that's gaming, right? You know, it's been that way for a while where they've co-opted these things, they've taken over, and they've essentially perverted them. But the worst thing is that it's targeting children, right? It's really, 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 really bad to me when they change those platforms into, okay, we're going to be exposing children to striptease. It's illegal for a child to walk into a strip club. Why should they be allowed on Twitch to see this on Twitch, right? By the way, I think that Twitch will get hit. This is another thing. Twitch may get hit, particularly with conservative states. I think they should definitely do this. They should treat it as pornography, and they should hit it with the restrictions related to pornography, because it is a porn site now. So they should certainly hit that. They should certainly fine them. They should certainly press criminal charges against Twitch for not having adequate protections to ensure minors aren't exposed to this information. So yeah, this is definitely something that they should be hit with.
Yeah, with the link I sent you, the person all the way in the right-hand side of the screen, that's the actual streamer, the VTuber, the English VTuber. The rest of that, she just has it up for people to just look at. Which is just full on. Well, it's censored. Somebody censored it on the Twitters, but it's just full on.
Well, and I can't pull up what you showed me.
No, you can't.
I literally cannot pull that up. But like, they're showing straight, and you actually censored the person who pulled that up, censored it from what it was showing. But they're essentially just going ahead and just showing porn, showing hentai, showing. I mean, what you showed me was like pretty much straight up hentai. Which, look, if you want to get that stuff, it's on the internet. But the problem is now people are using this for money, right?
People are using it for money in a place where kids are.
People
talk about how much they hate. Let me slow down so I don't.
Be very careful on the words. Don't say the words.
Yeah.
Who hate the people that end up getting cheese pizza.
Yeah.
But
they hate the cheese pizza lovers. But when Twitch does something like that, which is almost exclusively catering
To cheese pizza.
cheese pizza. Not just cheese pizza, but also just the youngins who are going to come in and see this stuff. Yeah, grooming. There we go.
Grooming. Dehako says Gundam series benefits from having multiple parallel universes to introduce unique mecha while avoiding convoluted storylines. No, Deha, I'm not saying it's a bad idea to split off the storylines. I think there's certain things that needed to be split off, like Wing and etc. But I like it when they come back to Universal Century. I do like having Universal Century there because it's a cohesive storyline and you can follow it through. Now, I don't like some of the stuff that is like, this is in Universal Century, but it's like 500 million years in the future. I don't like those shows as much. I kind of treat them as like almost an alternative universe. I like it when it's more like within the lifetimes of those folks. So it's like, okay, I've heard of Amuro Ray, or I saw him when I was a kid, or whatever else, right? There's like a lifetime in there, or something that ties back to the original series. I like that a little bit better. Thank you, $20 for Leprechaun Gold. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Camo Bot Killer says, my favorite anime equals Rising of the Shield Hero. Look, Rising of the Shield Hero has gone up a lot in my book. I think that the last season was a little bit slow, but it has gone up in my book.
This season?
As a pretty good. Not this season was not great, but I'm saying overall as a cohesive product, I think it's still pretty damn good. That's all I'm going to say. I still give it a thumbs up. Base Shaman says, I don't watch anime. I judge from the drawings. Well, that's your first problem, right? So sorry, but like that's like saying I don't drink wine, but I know it tastes bad, right? It's like, well, okay, yeah, you just know, right? Because you're an expert artist or you're an expert this and that. And nearly every American character is indistinguishable from your typical twank YouTube censors. Yeah, don't agree with you, bro. Particularly because you're not over here in Asia. They make a lot of distinctions, and the way people look is how people look over here. They typically prefer clean-shaven dudes, right? And there's a lot of dudes that are out here getting much more than you're getting in the United States, probably getting much more female attention than you're getting, and they are doing just fine. So yeah, don't just look at the characters and think, okay, they're automatically, because they're drawn in this way, they're this or that. Now, there are some people and some shops that do cater to that. But the thing about anime is, and what I don't mind about them at all, is there's a place for everybody. There are things that are marketed towards women. There are things that are marketed towards men. There are things that are marketed towards boys. There's things that are marketed towards all sorts of folks in anime. There's a lot of different anime, and to try to lump it all together is about the same as lumping every American together. It's ignorant, right? If I said because Biden is president, all Americans support Biden, that's equally Base Shaman. That's equally not accurate. So just just think about that for a second.
And the problem with trying to make these comparisons is, if you really want to go that route, Japan does not have an issue with minors being abused, especially when you compare it to over here in the West, where we take in minors, cut off the genitals, call them a female, and then I'm going to stop what I was about to say because that.
Well, I'll just say that with the stuff involving cheese pizza and stuff like that, those people are. I'm just going to say this. There's a lot of places over here, including perhaps where I am right now, where a lot of those people just magically disappear. Right? These things are found out, and they end up having a really bad accident the next day. They end up falling down that stairwell or tripping into a canal and drowning. Oh my gosh, how tragic does that happen? These things actually do happen to those folks. And if there's any of that, is severely cracked down on. The last thing people with families want is any of that. They are not tolerable of that. They're not okay with that. They're not down with that. That is absolutely something that they come down hard on. So let's just be very clear about that. It's not a problem like it is over there on Epstein Island. Let's see. Ted Park says, I think they're setting up Twitch to be bought by Disney Plus. Oh, my God. I could see it, though. Alfarius and Megan says, yet MasterCard and Visa are mum. Curious. Yeah, that's the big one, too, because those are, see, Alfarius, that's a great point, because MasterCard and Visa are the ones that gave so much trouble for OnlyFans, right? They're the ones that kind of block OnlyFans and make it pretty much impossible to have an gets very difficult to have an OnlyFans subscription because Visa and MasterCard will say, no, we're not doing that. It shows up as pornography. But yet they're going to pretty much allow OnlyFans content on Twitch.
Thinking about it, there's no specific rules that say you have to be 18 plus to do those things, and you can be on the site if you're below 18. So what's going to stop
now they're allowing 15-year-old cheese pizza.
Yeah, what if like a 15-year-old decides to start doing a twerk party? I don't think, as far as I know, there's anything within the rules of Twitch.
No, based on those policies we just read, there would be nothing stopping a minor content creator from creating a striptease pole dance. And that's allowed on Twitch. They expressly, not like vaguely, it is expressly allowed for them to do striptease pole dancing as a minor on Twitch. You're going to see some very fucked up shit coming out of Twitch in the future based on those policies.
This is why Teaman gets mad about things.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's sickening. It's not funny anymore. I mean, in the beginning, you could laugh about, look, we all laughed about the hot tub streams. But by comparison, hot tub streams are wholesome compared to this stuff.
I've been screaming my head off on my Discord and a little bit on Twitter. I am nuts.
Well, thank you. Actually, Teaman, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for bringing this to my attention because this is something that I appreciate.
I'm trying my hardest to control myself.
No, but dude, there's like Jesus in the temple. I say this is like Jesus in the temple with the moneylenders. There is a time for righteous indignation, and I think it's when they come for kids. I think it's when they do stuff that affects minors. I think it's okay. Is This Live gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships? Thank you so much, Is This Live. You have been a Giga Chad this month with your memberships. We have hit absolutely smashed through records. And this is just fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate all of you guys and everything you've done, keeping this a very, very based channel, keeping the streams based, and making sure that others are able to have those memberships. So make sure you accept those gift memberships and you allow those. I'm actually, my next stream, I may even do it a little bit later. We'll see about today, or maybe it's going to be early in the morning for you guys on your early morning on Thursday, which would be my evening on Thursday. I may do a members only stream. So stay posted for that. It'd be a members only stream. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I did not do Rumble today because I didn't have time to set it up. I had too many other things going on, but that will be up. This one will be uploaded to Rumble shortly. So they'll get that on the replay on Rumble. Maria Trujillo says, I did a little research. It is startling how far things have gone. 10-year P from 10 years ago might as well be a different category. What was seen as massive implants even a few years ago are now standard. And I will say one thing. And this is one thing I've seen, particularly over here in Asia, right? The girls that want to cater to attracting Western guys have gotten more and more silicone. Now, there's a certain, like, there's the kind of the split of the girls who are kind of hunting for a guy who's more Asian, maybe a girl who's more who wants a partner who's more Japanese or Korean or Chinese or whatever else, and the look they go for versus the girl who might want a Western guy, like an Australian or American guy who really is just into those type of guys. They are using a little bit more silicone. So that is something I've seen as well. Like the tits are getting pretty ridiculously big, like comically big.
Like anime big.
Anime big. No, really, like anime big. Bay Shaman says, anime, a bunch of twinks handling large swords. Hey, listen, just stay away from grabbing other dudes' swords and you'll be all right, right? I think we can just establish that. Don't grab another man's sword. I think we can all establish that. I think we can agree on that. Don't grab another man's sword. Xander's Rant says, still waiting on them to adapt Pirate UC Gundam. That would be awesome. I'm ready for it. Caboose says, Black Lagoon is the best anime ever made. Change my mind. Teaman, go. Change his mind.
I haven't seen it, so I can't.
You can't.
I need to see it first, and then I can argue why something else would be better.
Yeah. No, Black Lagoon is very good. I like Black Lagoon. Look, I know why you like it, Caboose. It's got a certain feel to it of like fun, but also it's based in like I like it because it's a real world anime, so it's based in like the actual Earth. It's using some like common tropes of different nationalities. It's got different types of people in it. It's just really hilarious, right? It's got Americans, Russians, Japanese. It's got all sorts of people, Chinese. There's lots of different types of people that are on the show, and I think it's a fun one. It's just fun, so I'm there for it. Camelbot Killer says, Andrew, When do I need my pitchfork/torch, Disney? I have so much Disney stuff coming, guys. I just like Weeb Wednesdays. I like having this little break with you guys because this allows me to talk about things I love and also talk about, anime, what's going on in Japan. And I have a little bit of break from the normal because, look, there's a lot of reason to watch anime. There's a lot of good stuff, which I'm going to talk about shortly. But there's a lot of also controversies. So it's always cool to talk about this and go in a little bit of a different direction. Alfaria says, diddlers are handled quietly and quickly in Asia. Yes. You don't hear about them because they're snuffed out.
In America, you're praised.
You're celebrated, but you're quietly put a bag over your head and your throat is slit and you've tossed into a canal, right? Like that's quietly what happens with those folks. There's no due process, right?
Yeah, honestly, it's not because of Weeb reasons. It's because of reasons like this that I've become nowadays particularly annoyed when people try and criticize Eastern nations with this kind of stuff.
Oh, they have no, because here's the thing. Here's my whole comment, especially, look, I hear this all the time, Teaman, especially from people that are here or they're visiting. And they're like, well, why doesn't Thailand do it this way? Why doesn't Korea do it this way? Why doesn't Japan do it this way? Well, guess what? You guys are here, not there. Maybe the West is fucking it up the way they're doing it. Maybe we don't need to imitate the broken models of the West. That to me is the worst thing, T-Man, is when they suggest we do something that's not working in America and we take that thing that's not working in America and we do that here. I'm like, how about you go fuck yourself? I go full Elon. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Hi, Bob. Blue Fire says, a reminder, anime is a medium, not a genre. T-Man. Is that a deep philosophy? Like, this is pretty deep, huh? A medium, not a genre. So,
am I confusing the two terms? Hold on a second.
Well, medium is just like the medium is like how it's communicated, right? So a medium, like the definition of medium, I was looking up, is the agency or means to do something, or rather, in this case, the intervening substance through which impressions are conveyed to the senses, or a force acts on objects at a distance. For example, radio communication means no physical medium between the two stations. So this kind of like this substance by which these ideas are communicated, I think the ideas that are being communicated are good ideas. They're ideas that we stand for, and I would stand for these same ideas if they were in Hollywood. The thing is,
right.
Hollywood does not stand for those ideas anymore.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it, but he's right. We don't say that book is a genre. We don't say that movie is a genre. So anime is not a genre. It's a medium.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Cool. That's really awesome, guys. Okay, so let me start out. I want to start out with some of the news I wanted to cover. I don't know if you've heard about this one. People really wanted to talk about this. They were spamming this in the other chat. So this is about the apology by Kadokawa. I don't know if you saw this, T-Man, but this is the publication of the anti-trans book that Kadokawa canceled. So there was an anti-trans book called Irreversible Damage, right? Or rather, I don't want to call it anti-trans, probably talking about the facts regarding the damage that transitioning a daughter does, right? So like they transition their daughter and that's not going to ever be put back in the box, right? So, but Kadokawa said, hey, listen, they were going to translate it. And they've now said, nope, we're actually not doing that. And we apologize for that. Right. So there's a recent surge in trans men in recent years, so-called rapid onset gender dysphoria. While scientific sounding, RGD is not dysphoria, recognized by medical. By contrast, gender dysphoria, medical treatment for gender dysphoria, and gender diversity are all recognized by the mainstream medical community. So Kadokawa had a company apology, cancellation notice for the book, which is scheduled to publish on the 24th, saying immediately after Kadokawa announced the publication, we received various comments from people regarding the content and the pros and cons. We plan to publish a translation, hoping it would help readers in Japan deepen their discussions about gender and what is happening through Europe, as well as in other matters. But the title and the sales copy resulted in causing harm to people directly involved in transgender issues. We sincerely apologize. So look, one of the big things in Japan, and I wanna bring this up, is like kind of the concept, and I got this from Bob Whiting. Shout out, I know Max Mura may be out there. From Bob Whiting is the concept of wa and sort of the going along with the spirit of the community and kind of saving face and not bringing up political issues. So big in Japan, people who are celebrities, people who are sports stars, people who are big in the public eye do not comment on political issues. They do not comment on controversial issues. They only talk about non-controversial issues. This is the exact opposite of the United States. Okay? So they don't want to discuss anything and be controversial. It's a smart policy, but the woke abuse it by creating a controversy which makes them back down because they don't want to create controversy. All they just want to do is be non-controversial. The woke have been manipulating and using this to silence voices in Japan. However, I will tell you this right now. The average Japanese person is not down with transitioning, is not okay with the T agenda, and is absolutely, if you ask them, would this cause irreversible damage to transition your daughter? They would say, yes. Yes, this would. Because
I'm so fucking dumb.
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
When you said that down with the tea agenda, I thought you meant like tea to drink.
Oh,
and so for like a second, dude, I'm
No!
like, what the fuck? What does that have to do with
No.
trans agenda?
Oh, no. Yeah, the trans agenda. Not the.
Oh
not
my
the
God.
T-man. They're down with the T-man's
I
agenda.
can't believe I actually.
Not the trans agenda. Oh my God.
I'm an idiot.
Dragon's Treasure transing his tea every day, you know. Now having your Rule 34.
Where did that come from? And what's wrong with Japan? What did I miss? Trans. Okay.
Your waifu now has a dick. It's great. It's great.
Man, but how much do you know about Kadokawa in general? Because I hate them.
I don't know a lot about them. So actually, so people who brought this up were really pissed off about it. So tell me what you know about Kadokawa, and people in the chat, if you want to send anything in on Kadokawa, what you guys think of Kadokawa, let me know. But go ahead, go ahead rant. Why do you hate Kadokawa? I don't know enough about them.
They had a really scummy publishing company that I'm pretty sure now has more connections or wants to have more connections with the US than with Japan because they've launched a lot of English apps and whatnots. I made a whole video on the crappy app, but to give a long story short, if you want to buy digital manga from the app, it will cost you more money via the credit system than if you just bought the entire series in a physical copy, brand new. And they're trying to play it off as if it's, something not. So if let's say you want to buy a series just right off a website with shipping that would cost $60, it would probably cost like $70, $80 if you did the same thing digitally with no guarantee that you get to keep it because you can't, unless they've changed it, you can't save for offline viewing. They are this type of company.
So it's sort of like the thing. Yeah. So it's all digital. You can't save it. You can't take it with you. I mean, I'm really against, it really has been a problem whereby these digital platforms are giving you media, right? They're giving you access to media, but you don't have the ability to have a physical copy. See, back in the day, when you bought a DVD or a CD, you had that DVD or CD, and you could even duplicate it, right? You have the right to duplicate that DVD or the CD. Nowadays, you're getting a digital copy that you don't even have the rights to, that you have zero right to reproduce, copy, record, etc. So this is the real issue here. Yeah. In a version you can't save, and I think most people are not happy with that.
I'm assuming you heard about the PlayStation Discovery thing, right?
No.
PlayStation, they're ending a contract with Discovery Network, and so if you purchase anything from your PlayStation Store of any type of Discovery TV show or movie, after January, you're not going to be able to watch it. Or was it after December?
Wow.
So if you bought something like one day before the announcements, well, too bad, no refunds. Thanks for your money.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. That's nuts. Yeah, and just a real quick talk, who's been a member forever, says PlayStation Discovery thing is BS and Sony deserves to get their asses sued for it. I didn't know about this. Now I want to look into this as a lawsuit because frankly, that's yeah, so share that with me. Let me do some research on this. This might be worthwhile to like actually get into from a legal standpoint.
Yeah, and they list all the different shows. Oh my, whoa, that is a lot of shows. I never scrolled. Holy crap.
Wow.
I'm gonna post this in chats so everybody else can see.
Wow. So they induce.
Dude,
are you kidding me?
This just goes and goes and goes. This
could be fraud. This could very well be fraud because look, they represented that you could purchase this, and now all of a sudden, your purchases are gonna get wiped. They allowed you to buy something they didn't even have the right to sell. This is beyond messed up. There's a lawsuit over this. I like the one that they lost one, 9/11, the Red Bandana Legacy. Okay. Yukon Man, World's Toughest Trucker, World War II, Witness to War, Wicked Attraction, Wheeler Dealers, Whale Wars, Web of Lies,
Usual 1,318 seasons of Discovery shows. 1,318.
These are seasons. Like the thing that you sent me, it's like entire seasons of shows are not going to be available. This is nuts. Yeah, this is definitely one, dude. This is a lawsuit. This is a huge lawsuit. This would be great case law. Great case law. Yeah, and I agree. Torgo, what you're saying here is exactly right. A great precedent to demonstrate that these contracts are just BS because they're not giving you what they're supposing to sell you. They're saying you are purchasing this, but you're not purchasing anything. We need to, like people say, get physical media, get out of the digital only game. We got to get out of the digital only game. We got to go back to the Blockbuster video era. I'm sorry. We got to go back to that era of physical media, the physical Uber alles, because that is the way. That is the way. Or having a personal copy. Alfaria says, watch that unfold. Westerners made death threats and Japanese activists sent pictures of knives to employees. Some spoke out and were silenced by Kadokawa. Did you hear about this regarding Kadokawa, the death threats and the other
not for that one, no.
Okay. But that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to hear that. I imagine that they were threatening Kadokawa over the trans stuff because people get really wacky when that stuff comes up. I've had threats whenever I talk about those issues. I
mean, even I've had threats, but it's the internet. You expect them.
And I walk them off, right? The problem is a lot of these people can't walk them off, or they don't walk them off. They take them very personally, particularly a lot of the ladies. They get very, very scared. So they, there's some issues. Okay, I want to bring up something that It's a Gundam brought up, and this is something that I think a lot of people were freaking out on, and I want to just cover it real quick, which is the twerking, right? So, It's a Gundam posted this, and this spawned people talking about twerking in Japan. So it says Japan. So his comment was, let me actually go back here. His comment was Japan discovers twerking. Well, the truth is that twerking has been around for a while. I've been to Japan many, many times. I've been to clubs in Japan. I've been there, multiple times over the times I've been to Japan. People have known what twerking is in Japan for a while. I'm just going to play the video, and I'll just, I'm just going to play the video real quick, though. Like, this is... Okay, so there's a little bit of play.
Even the voices are disgusting. So there was nothing that was not disgusting in that whole thing.
So I will say this. That type of behavior is still like completely stigmatized in Japan. It's not normalized. Nobody's going out there. Girls aren't twerking on the streets all the time. It's not happening. Not jumping on cars and twerking. It's a minority. Even in clubs, a lot of girls are relatively demure compared to the United States, compared to Europe, compared to other places. Like, they're not going out. Like, twerking is not a craze. It's sweeping Japan. That's a complete fallacy. They've known about these things, but it's kept to these fringe communities. The people that do it are weird, and they're treated as weird, right? So they're like, okay, well, these weirdos that are really into twerking, yeah, they're over there. We don't go there. That's the thought about around most normal people regarding this stuff. Just like, look, Ganguro girls. You know about Ganguro girls. It's been around for a while, right? Those girls are a super ultra minority. They are not the majority of Japanese girls. In fact, in my time in Japan, if I'm on a trip for 2 weeks, I'll maybe see 2 Ganguro girls. 2 girls that are super tan, like the bleach, the blonde hair or whatever, braids, whatever they have. I'll maybe see 2 of those girls. They're not the majority of girls. The majority of girls are absolutely normal Japanese girls.
And I don't understand it because they all look ugly. Every single one I've seen.
and most people would agree with you, right? And most people would agree with you. Like, it would be. I think people are saying Gyaru, right? So these type of girls. I think I need a visual.
I tried to make one of my anime waifus based on that, but I'm like, I can't have my product based on this thing.
Yeah, this sort of thing, right? Like this girl to this girl, right? Like this sort of girl. Like these girls are like pretty rare. In fact, maybe you'll see this. This is like a more mild version, but like this, you do not see this very often.
They look like little dolls, and I don't mean that in a good way.
Yeah,
they look inhuman.
I'm telling you right now, guys, this isn't really a thing. Like it's not like you see 50% of the girls are like that, right? Like, nah, it's not a wave. So don't worry about it. The people that are calling for the moral corruption of Japan are vastly overpredicting. Base Shaman says, lol, anime brought us lolly. Shameful display. There's child cheese pizza in the West, right? So like, and there's far more cheese pizza than there is lolly even. And that's the sad truth. And if you look at the volume in the market, it's far beyond. It is pales in comparison. And a lot of it you don't see. The Epstein Island stuff, you guys aren't even seeing the scale and the depth and the depravity of what goes on in the West. So yeah, don't worry, we can beat them on that level of degeneracy. Okay.
I'm just tired of the lolly debate because people bring up the stupidest things like minor coded persons and things along those lines.
Yeah. And look,
like
by the way, I'm not okay with lolly either. I'm not a fan of lolly either. I don't like it, right? I won't watch an anime if it's playing into that at all, right? But to pretend that we're somehow morally superior and that the West has none of these problems is very ignorant. Let's just say.
I was called a lolicon for liking a fully adult female. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, well, yeah. And that's the shaming taxes. Whenever people try to do that, it gets bad. By the way, everyone is saying hello to your cat in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's saying hello to your cat in the chat. Yes.
He is very annoying.
Okay. Next, I want to talk about some new anime. So I have not seen it yet, but have you, Teaman? I need to go see it. I do need to go see it. But Teaman, have you yet seen The Boy and the Heron? It just came out in the US.
I have not. It's I don't want to say it's on my list, but it's one of those things. If fate happens and I just so happen to like cross by it, I would watch it. But I'm like over 10 episodes behind on just this anime season alone. So to sit down and watch a whole movie, it's not going to happen. I've heard a lot of interesting things about it.
I mean, I will say this. I am a guy who really loves going to movie theaters. I love seeing things in theaters. I should have tried to see it when I was in Japan. Maybe I can still catch it. Maybe it's still in theaters there. I don't know. Thailand is probably going to be a little bit more difficult to find a theater. I think I can find it. I just like going to movies. So if I have an excuse to go, I will go. I just like the experience. So I would do it just to go sit in the theater. Also, it's Miyazaki, so I have some positive thoughts about it, but I have not seen it yet, and I haven't heard too many people review it. Now, I'm seeing right here Vice say that he saw Boy and the Heron last weekend, and he enjoyed it quite a bit. So that's the sort of thing that I look at, right?
I'm willing to bet I would enjoy it because I've heard a lot of people describe it as very abstract. And for that, what that means to me is that actually it's got a point and I can tell what the point is and I can watch it and enjoy it. Yeah. Because there's been a lot of things I've had people describe as too abstract and then I watch it and it's like, I get it. Like the symbolism is, for me at least, pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, some Miyazaki stuff. I saw people in the chat saying Miyazaki is woke. Miyazaki has never pretended to not have a message, right? He clearly has messages. However, the messages don't take away from him writing a good story. And that's the key here, right? Even when he's anti-war, by the way, people are allowed to express their opinion to be anti-war. In fact, I think nowadays we actually need a little bit more anti-war, particularly as the left goes absolutely blood crazy and tries to start World War III in Ukraine and Israel and China, everywhere around the world. They're trying to start World War III. Maybe we could use a little bit of that. Maybe we could use a little bit of a reminder of how many people die in these conflicts, and we should not enter into them willy-nilly. Right? Yes, we should be very tough and we should hold the line when we need to. But we should hold the line where it's important and where it's in the national interest of our country, not of the global elites, not of the globalists, not of other countries, but us. So,
can I make a confession, Mr. Mindset?
Make a confession. Confess.
I have grown tired of the I don't know what the hell you call them, the anti-wokies. And
really?
At this point, I fully disavow the quote-unquote culture warriors who are trying to fight the woke bullshit. Because at this point, it feels like most of these people are just fucking as retarded as the other side they're trying to fight. And I don't want my fingertips on that train wreck that's coming. Because every single... the amount of people I've seen say they're not going to play Baldur's Gate 3 because of the bare sex scene, but then complain there's not enough crazy sex stuff in movies and TV and anime and whatnot has been astronomical.
Well, there's a fine line between pure being pure, right? Like being somebody who's ideologically pure and somebody who acknowledges that even imperfect people and perfect things can help advance your cause. I'm going to give a good example. Elon Musk, right? A lot of people are like, I don't like Elon Musk. Therefore, I don't like Twitter. I don't know what's going on with Twitter. I hate it, right? And I'm like, well, look, guys, if you like freedom of speech, you should like anything that's moving towards better freedom of speech. Be a realistic person. Stop having to make people into saints or devils. People are very gray, and on some things they can be wrong and other things they can be right. Elon is absolutely right about freedom of speech on the internet. He's a giant simp for, giving all that money to Amber Heard, but I don't have to simp, right? I can ignore his simping for Amber Heard and I can pay attention to his freedom of speech because I'm an adult who can acknowledge that people are flawed. Miyazaki, I don't care for his environmentalism. Some people in the chat say his environmentalism over the top. I agree with you, but I can ignore that and still watch a good movie. Say, oh, he's trying to have an environmental message here. He's trying to have a movie, in his movie. I get that. I get where he's coming from. I get he's an environmentalist. He's anti-war, but he's still trying to create a good message. Right. And there's still not, the message is still packaged in a way that is not degenerate. Right. It actually tells a good story while not being absolutely culturally corrupt. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people having opinions that are different than me. That's fine. They can still be good people, even if they don't 100% agree with me on everything. Because, by the way, that's how the right destroys itself. That's how the anti-woke destroys itself is we all end up fighting over what should be true and not true. Right. It's the religious people versus the non-religious people. It's the people that are economically conservative versus want big government, right? There's some people that want the emperor, that want it to be like a 40K like emperor, and there's people that want anarcho-libertarianism, right? So we can either stand together on principles or we can end up fighting each other over petty bullshit. Your choice, guys. Your choice. And sometimes you're right, Teaman. The anti-woke people can be really, really nauseating.
One of the more annoying things of last week is when the GTA 6 trailer dropped, and I saw a bunch of people trying to call it woke. So, full disclaimer, I have not played GTA since 3. I have no connection to it. I have no like or dislike for it. I have no reason to defend it in Rockstar. If anything, I have reason to want to shit on them. But that trailer was a fantastic trailer. I'm saying that just purely on the trailer point of it. And there was many scenes of attractive women all over the place, but several people took a screenshot that showed 3 black women in the corner. One of them was kind of fat. I'm like, wow, this game is over. This game is woke. There's like 6 hot women in that shot alone, but you're focusing on the one fat one, and you're saying, oh no, this thing is woke. You show things like people doing crime. Oh, great, they're promoting crime now. It's fucking GTA, you dumb piece of crap. It is what the game is.
Boom. Boom. I love, by the way, did you see that in the new GTA, the Florida Joker, there's like it's apparently it's like it's going to be potentially suing them. That's going to be great. It's going to be great. Suing them for using his likeness. Hilarious. Look, there's such thing as going too far. And that's the same thing with anime, by the way. Just don't watch the anime you don't like. Just don't watch it. If you're like, I don't like this type of anime, I don't like this type of thing, don't watch it. Watch the stuff you like, ignore the stuff you don't like. Right? Don't condemn all anime because you saw somebody draw something that you don't like, or because you're like, well, anime leads to furries. I'm like, well, then don't watch furry. Why are you looking at furries? Like, stop that. No, right? Go stay away from that. And actually, I would say, by the way, Pixar has been the thing that has been fueling furries. In fact, the people who Zootopia openly courted furries. They said people should show up in fursuits to theaters, right? Yeah. So like, they openly did that. That was not something they were hiding. They were doing that open and notoriously. So if anything, by the way, furries are the problem of Disney. They've been playing into the anthropomorphic animal thing for a long time and secretly in the closet about the furry thing. They should just really come out and say, look, we're sponsoring that.
And trying to say that all of anime is bad because of these examples. Have you looked at books? There's a lot of gay books out there of two dudes banging. Are you going to just do away with all books now?
All books. So we burn the medium. We're like, there's one book that's bad. Therefore, we burn all books. It's like the Bible.
The Bible
is a book. The Bible's a book too, bro. Like, are you burning the Bible? If I made a Bible anime, would you condemn the Bible anime as degenerate? I mean, it would have to be made in a based way. But like I'm saying, if I made it in a based way, it was in the style of like Akira. Like it was like old school drawn anime, right? Not 3D. Mm-hmm. Would you guys think that was degenerate? Would you think that was horrible? No, you'd love it. You'd be like, oh my God, God pilled, based in God pilled, in 2 seconds. Leprechaun Gold, thank you again for the $20. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for that. Also, I want to thank everybody who's giving out gift memberships. Look at Sticky Syrup Everywhere, who just came out of nowhere saying, oh, cool, someone bought me a membership. And I am humbly grateful and also nearly broke. And thank you so much. I want to say thank you straight up to for this chat for Is It Live. Is It Live has been fucking Chad donating these memberships and helping people out with that. And we absolutely have another 20 here. So this chat, Sticky Syrup Everywhere, you need to thank Is It Live. And thank you to all those that have been donating. Ted Park, I know you've donated. Several other people have donated to this channel over the past couple days. And I just want to say thank you so much for that. Contrarian says furries are caused by making animal characters the heroic protagonists in children's film. Hashtag I'm printed. Yeah, and anthropomorphizing animals, which by the way has been part of the PETA movement. It's been part of the getting everybody to think animals are cute and they're their friends and they're this and they're that. And they're people into moving people away from meat. That's part of the globalist agenda. So you're falling into it when you're going down that furry route, right? The furries are part of the globalist agenda. Absolutely. Japanese demon lord Abari Lucifer says, technically, Hugh Hefner was the person who started the furry problem. Wait, what? What, with the bunny thing? The Playboy bunnies? He never, but like, okay. He never made them go full fursuit. Okay. I'm okay. Look, I'm okay with bunny ears or cat ears. If a girl wants to wear cat ears or bunny ears, I'm still down, right? Human body, real girl, we're talking real girl in real life, 3D, right? This girl straps on a pair of bunny ears or cat ears. That's fine. That's totally fine. That's not furry at all whatsoever. In fact, I think we're going to have to go to the chart. We're going to have to pull out the chart. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. This one is pretty good. This one is pretty good. Okay. So here we go. Here's the chart. Here's the chart, guys, for your reference. This is something you need to make sure you understand. Okay. Not furry, semi-furry. This is a furry, very furry. What are you doing? Please reconsider. Yeah, 4 to 6. You have a you need to be locked up in a penitentiary. Even 3, I think, is too far. 2, questionable.
I probably couldn't even do 1.
Yeah, one is all right.
I'm a prude, so surprise.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a line, and actually, there's another one here. Can I find this one? I want to find this one in like a better context. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good one. This is one that somebody went and made based on actual characters. Hold on. This was actually really good. This is from Reddit. So human, just a human. Nico, human structure with some animals, still a human with ears or a tail, right? So Nico. Neko, whatever. Neko. Okay.
Listen, I live in Asia, Stan.
Yeah, no, I fucking hate that. You know, I fucking hate that, Teaman. It's like, look, unless we're having this conversation in Japanese, shut the fuck up, right? You know, and I'm like, oh, Nihongo wa karimasu ka? Right? Let's go. Let's have this conversation in fucking Japanese.
Shut the fuck up, Dayo.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's like somebody asked if I speak Japanese, and I say choto. You know, but my Japanese is very much functional. It's very much functional for me just saying hello, saying what's up, hitting on girls. That's pretty much the functionality of my Japanese. And then I'm pretty much done. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Tamari. Yes, Tamari is here. Here, let me make this bigger for you guys. Okay. Okay. This is very furry. This is pretty much problematic. This is super furry. This is definitely. This is a penguin. You're pretty much fucking a penguin. This is a cat, right? All of this is not okay. All of this is not okay to me. Like this is a line, and I know that you say you're barely okay with it, but still, right? Because that one is like clearly like an actual creature, not like a, you know, like it has ears that are like real ears, not like a girl who's wearing cute ears. It's much different. Torgo says, I would not buy the anime Bible drawn by lolly lovers, but I would buy the hell out of a Kentaro Miura Bible. Yeah, like a Berserk Bible. Yeah, that would be badass. Like the Bible, just straight up do the Bible in Berserk style. That would actually be cool. Because if you did the stories, there would be a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of people would be deeply offended by it. They would be horribly offended by it. But it would be pretty cool.
There's also a huge difference I just thought about in terms of anime degeneracy. So over here in the West, it's one of those things that everybody seems to know, but nobody seems to want to say it, is that everybody here tries to make ironic jokes, but almost nobody's actually being ironic. They're just saying what they actually believe, and they're trying to just have a nice little shield in case it goes against them. But in Japan, they're actually ironic, and they do stuff with the full knowledge that they're being silly and dumb. An example from this season is an anime I've fallen in love with that's pure degenerate, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. We talked about it last time. Do you remember that one?
Wait, which one? I love you what?
The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really, Really Love You. It's the one where basically the gods messed up.
That's a name of an anime.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, are you just saying that, or is that the name of the anime?
It's the name of the anime.
So you actually have to be specific. Like the name of the anime is X.
Yeah. It's to give you an idea of the silliness, the premise is that the gods of love messed up. And so normally people have just one soulmate, but they accidentally gave this one character 100 soulmates. And so they all love each other. And if any of them, for some reason, don't fall in love with him, they die. And the anime is purely self-aware, and it knows exactly what it's doing. Like one of the characters, she takes the role both of like older mommy and basically younger loli, because she's a third year, but she makes potions that do things, and one of them makes her small. And they're fully aware of what they're doing. And they did one of the most.
And that was like, and you felt when you were watching it. So I haven't watched this. So you were bothered by this?
No, because it's self-aware. It knows what it's doing, and it's making light of this stuff, and it's actually just having fun with it. If it was made over in the West, people would just be showing awful degenerate stuff and saying, haha, I don't actually mean this, I'm just being ironic, but then just
Right.
jacking off to what they create. Here, it's a comedy, and it's just using sexual stuff as a mode of comedy. It's hilarious.
Right. Which
It's
is
a show I
is,
would not like, but it's just so damn funny.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. You know, and people end up liking certain things and not liking certain things based on the way it's presented, right? Because you can present the same sort of thing two different ways and it can be taken much differently, right? Because it's presented in a way that doesn't focus it, right? Like just because there's a character in an anime that happens to be a lolly looking character, you'd be like, that's lolly, right? But as long as it's not focused on that and it's not catering to that and like playing into that, I'm like, all right, I'm okay with it, right? Like, but if that's the central theme, then I'm like, all right, I'm out. You know, I'm out. TB gifted 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. I hope that the other people enjoy those and get those. Make sure you have turned on accept gift memberships so you guys can kind of take that down. Right, take that down. All right, get a couple other one of these. Base Shaman says your whataboutism arguments are pathetic. Did I once mention Japan or Japanese people? I blame the weeb for this.
Then what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking? Yeah, do you think that? Okay, bro,
I'm lost.
I'm really lost too. Because do you think only American? Like, how about people in Korea who watch anime? How about manhwa? Does that count? How about Chinese manhwa too? You know, Korean and Chinese manhwa. Does that count? Does that fall in your category? Does people over like what countries are included? Not is it Europe? How about Asians in America? Right? Like what? It's not whataboutism. The main this is what you don't understand, bro. The main audience for anime and manga is not Westerners. They say that openly. They don't hide it, bro. They have said we do not care about the West because we are selling to the East. The West is a secondary market. It is not the primary market for anime. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. There's always people that will be a secondary or tertiary market that end up using it in some weird, kooky way, right? People went and took what were massage guns and ended up using them on their, well, yeah, there's that. That's not the primary market. It's not the intended use of the thing, okay? So we're not, if you're saying, oh, well, I wasn't talking about the primary use, well, then what are you even talking about? We're not having the same conversation. So yeah, there's that. The weeb, what as in I guess we're talking about white people, like were we not including black weebs? What are they? What's a black weeb? Again, a weeaboo or whatever. Whatever. Like, is it just white people? Is it black people? Is it Native Americans? What are we talking about here? I think what we're talking about is more this, what Blue Fire said. I think it's more of a cope, bro. It's okay. Look, listen, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes too. But
I don't.
I really, truly do not think that all anime that is magically viewed, even if it's viewed not by Japanese people, even if it's viewed by Americans or Europeans, that doesn't make it evil. It doesn't turn it into homoerotic stuff. Look at the people in this chat. The vast majority of them are not there sexualizing any sort of thing in a cheese pizza way or in a rainbow flag sort of way, right? If you're thinking that, you should examine yourself, bro. Like look deep within yourself as to why you're looking at it that way, because it is not like that on its face. Japanese Demon Lord Abari Lucifer says, does the gorilla girl in Mushoku Tensei count as furry? Okay, let me pull up this girl.
Yes,
Gorilla
she
girl.
does.
Okay, let me just double check. Wait, which gorilla? Oh, this. Wait, is it the?
Almost a literal gorilla.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one is okay. I'll put you. I'll do a poll. There'll be a poll in the chat. We're gonna do it right now. Okay. Here's the gorilla girl. All right. So is this a furry or is this not a furry? Okay. So furry or not furry? Gorilla girl. Okay, just yes or no. I want to know what you guys think in the chat real quick. We'll do a real quick poll here. I don't think this is a. I don't know. Teaman, you think it's definitely a furry?
Yeah, it's a gorilla.
But it's wearing a hoodie though.
It doesn't matter. This is a fantasy land. There's beastkin.
But it's got a hoodie though.
She's one of the beastkin, and she is the most beastly beastkin that we've ever seen.
But it's got a hoodie though.
So what?
Okay. So far out of
I don't want a gorilla grip pussy. I'm sorry.
You don't want to say. I like this. You perverted filth. This is probably the best one. Absolutely. I remember that one too. When she like
so
jumps
dodgy.
down.
What the hell?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. People simping hard here for Gorilla Girl. In the chat, she flings her poo. Okay. Yeah, the poll is overwhelming here. 71% of you think this is furry. So yeah, I think it's pretty decisive there. And this is not, come on, Soap Dodger. Come on. It's not cool, bro. Not cool. A Japanese demon lord Abaru says, Lucifer says, folks complain about certain anime characters. Do you remember how old Eve was in the movie Species? Actually, that's a throwback. I do not remember. Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing that can be a problematic in real media and in other media as well. So it's not something that's just in anime. I'll tell you that. All right, next I want to get into this and get your thoughts here. This is probably one of the most important things, maybe the last thing of news that I want to talk with you before I talk about what you're watching and what people are watching. So Netflix is working on a live action My Hero Academia. Teaman, I know how you feel about My Hero Academia. I know you've got kind of mixed feelings on it.
No,
I
love
really
it.
want to get your but okay. Live action My Hero Academia. Is it gonna be like Cowboy Bebop or is it gonna be like One Piece?
Right. The only mixed feelings I have is that the show itself is great. It's just the fandom is one of the worst things I've ever seen. That's the only mixed feelings I have about it.
Well, the fandom does a lot of the fandom does a lot of the shipping stuff. They do a lot of the yaoi stuff. So yeah. It could be great because I like My Hero. It could be really good or it could be horrible.
I guess we're gonna have to see who the writers and directors are. I think that'll be the most telling sign.
The thing is about My Hero Academia is, first of all, and what I'm not gonna like about this is, I think they're gonna do a One Piece with it, and I think they're gonna try to make them like which for One Piece it works because it's a fictional world. The problem with My Hero Academia, which people are not going to like, is it's set in Japan. So I'm sorry. Now, like for some characters that are American or are put as like a dark character or whatever, like there are African characters in this. In My Hero Academia, there's some darker skinned characters. You can have people that are of color for those roles, but I think they're going to try to make people that are supposed to be Japanese non-Japanese. I could see them doing something like making Bakugo Hispanic, right? Or
he is always angry.
And my channel is demonetized.
Hey, Deku Puta.
Yeah, like seriously, like making like Deku, like Mexican, Bakugo is like Colombian or Deku's black. Oh, there you go. I like this one. This is a good one. Deku's black, Bakugo is Hispanic, Ochaku is Latina, Mineta is white. Yes, they would 100% make Mineta white.
Ochaku will be black because she is a redhead, and by law, they have to make every redhead into a black person.
That's true. And all the League of Villains will be 100% white.
Mm-hmm.
The League of Villains will be 100% white.
What's going to be funny is that there's already at least one trans character in this thing, and they're probably going to make him non-trans and make some other non-trans character trans.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's like you have a trans character, so like just use the trans character, but they're not going to do that because
it's a villain, so they can't.
Yeah, well, and also you have the ability to do it with some like the one that's like the alien queen or whatever. Like I think like she ones that are like in the middle or something like that. It's like, all right, if you want to do something there, I mean, if they're like another species, it is what it is. But that's sort of like with the shark people. It's like, they're weird shark people, but making them like trans shark people was kind of weird. They'll make Momo trans. No.
They're
Actually,
not
they can make
have
Momo kind of like evil.
They're not going to have it with her normal costume, that's for sure. Going to change it to something completely different.
Yeah, they're going to pull the Cowboy Bebop with the costume for Momo. They're going to say, oh, yeah, it was not practical, despite the fact that there's a bunch of like, let me just pull up Momo cosplayers from MHA.
While you do that, real quick, Skull Leaver, the trans character in My Hero Academia, was one of the minor villains. He was the magnet guy who could change the polarity of people and bring him closer or further away. I can't remember what his actual name was. He was killed off by, I can't remember the other villain's name. The gangster villain, the one who can do like alchemy halfway. God, I'm awful with names.
Let me just show you here. So people are gonna say, oh, we can't do Momo. Oh, it's not possible to do Momo, right? Oh, we can't do the outfit. Yeah, we can do the outfit. We can do the outfit, right? Like you're telling me we can't.
Overhaul,
and like,
yes.
Yeah. It's like we can 100% do the Momo outfit like in live action. It's very, very much possible, But are they going to want to do that? That's the problem. They're going to be like, oh, it's too sexy. We can't have people running around in this. Cosplay has really outed people as full of shit. Oh, Overhaul. Yeah, I liked Overhaul. Actually, man, Overhaul was a good one. Overhaul was a good one. He was a little OP though. I will say Overhaul's power was a little OP. I mean, same thing with Overhaul's the gangster who would his power was like deconstruction, I believe. Or is it similar? Let's see, MHA. Like the exact mechanics. His power to disassemble anything he touches. No, that's Chisaki. It's Chisaki. Oh no, wait, that's the right one. No, he disassembles, right? He disassembles.
Correct.
Right.
And he can also reassemble it as well.
Yes, disassemble or reassemble. So it like takes people apart and puts them back together.
Yeah, pull this guy up. I put it in private chat. He is the trans character. The officially trans character in My Hero Academia.
I was just trying to differentiate between the power of Shigaraki and the power of Overhaul, because like Shigaraki's power is very similar, really. Like his power functions in a very similar way to kind of decompose stuff.
Well, now in the manga, he's basically God.
Yeah, it's God mode. It's super God mode. Let's see. Talking about Gorilla Girl, what about the Gorilla Girl in Fruit of Evolution? Are we really doing this?
I don't know.
Searching all Gorilla Girls at anime?
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm just in a private window, not in something that's public ever. But Fruit of Evolution. Okay, you're making me Google this in the back one. Okay, in which mode though? See, what you're showing me here is a girl who can transform, and that's like asking me a werewolf question, right? So if you're asking me like this girl can evolve into both, like if she's in this mode, she's not a furry. If she's in this mode, this is a furry, right? Furry, not furry. Furry, not furry. Depends on what mode you're in. Okay. So that's my line on werewolves, right? What are you interested in? Are you interested in the furry version of the werewolf or the human version of the werewolf?
I just thought of something awful.
Okay.
So, in terms of transformations and the trans community, as we know, some of them are a little bit gender fluid, and some of them have a particular type of taste. So let's say you are a dude, and you say you only want to make love to a woman. You meet a trans person who is gender fluid. You agree with this person, you'll make love to them, but only if they maintain being a woman during the lovemaking. During the lovemaking, the gender fluid person halfway through says, I am now man. Does that count as rape?
In many countries that does, because the like this idea of consent has now become like a fluid thing where like you can withdraw consent even when you don't feel like it. So yeah, that would be like they'll become non-consensual if they continue. So I think it would be. I think it would be.
You.
Yeah. TB says PC and live action game usually goes poorly. Look, I'm skeptical, and my take with live actions, and we're talking about, of course, back to live action My Hero Academia. My take on it is usually show me a good one before, because most of them are bad. Most live action animes are going to be really, really bad. They're not going to be good. So I want them to prove it to me. But I'll let you guys see in the chat, like live action, My Hero Academia, will it be at least okay? Let's do a yes or no on this one. Doesn't have to be good, but at least okay. Yes or no? Yes or no? They'll make They'll make Toga's quirk a trans allegory. Oh, yes, they will, because she's like transforming. So they'll make that into like some bisexual thing or a transsexual thing. Yeah. Even though Toga is 100% straight, she likes dudes. Like Toga clearly.
No. She is. She swings both ways officially.
Oh, does she? Is that official?
Yeah, she is the blood drinking one who transforms, and she
loves
everyone.
Okay. That's true. That she sticks it in. Okay. That's fine. She's bi.
Yes.
She doesn't. Okay. Very much get it. Oh yeah, and then there's Naval Button Guy. But Naval Button Guy, okay, making the naval laser guy, making him like Liberace gay is kind of canon. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with that one, right?
I'm gonna send you another link in the private chat with a Twitch person.
Degen.
Do not pull it up.
Okay, I will not pull it up. But before that, what are you watching? So Teaman and chat, let me know. We're gotten to the recommendations portion. Okay, what are you watching right now? What are you watching at the moment? What are you watching at present?
Right now, I'm still watching the Apothecary Diaries. I'm greatly loving that. Free Ren, whatever the official title was, but Free Ren is just getting better by the episode. Yeah. Yes, I'm loving what they're doing with that. The name of the firefighter anime, I forgot what it was called, but that was been pretty good. Though they're having issues I can very clearly see of improper, pacing, I guess. The one scene which I pulled up in a live stream and I had no problem just playing this straight out because nothing happened, is the character was eating ice cream. They picked up the spoon, put it in the mouth, and for 10 seconds, nothing moved. There was still music playing in the background, but it was just 10 seconds of.
Yep. That's it.
And then stop. Like when it was going on, I was like, did the screen freeze? Did something happen? But no, that's just what they did. I do several stuff like that. It's driving me mad, but otherwise, good, fun show. Shield Hero this season, it's not doing it for me. It's like
it's not doing it for you.
Yeah, it's like they don't know what they want to do. It's just all over the place, and not in a good way. Which makes me sad.
I like Shield Hero so far. Now I haven't started. I want to start. I've gotten pretty well through Dropless Reincarnation. I've got up through where they're ready to go to the next half of it. So I'm finished with that part. We watched as one of our Rumble watches, one of our Weeb Wednesdays on Rumble, which we're going to start again soon. We watched Shangri-La Frontier. I've been catching up on that. I actually really like that one for a computer generated one. That one's been doing good, as well as I tried to watch. I think I watched one episode of Berserk of Gluttony. I finished most of the other things I was watching. So I'm pretty sure I got through what was like Our Last Crusade. I think I finished that one in terms of what's out there. So I think I've gotten past Our Last Crusade. I think I finished that. So that was what I've been into. Then of course watching a lot of manhwa, and I like manhwa recaps. So for my manhwa recap that I'm doing right now is Skeleton That Couldn't Protect the Dungeon. So I finished everything that's out for that one so far, which is actually a pretty good one. And those manhwa recaps, you can find those on YouTube for free. And those are just people recapping Korean or Chinese manhwa. So that's what I've been into so far on my level. Let's see what people from the chat here are saying.
For Pacific
some people are saying,
drop.
I want to hear Shield Hero. So people are conflicted on Shield Hero. Some people think Shield Hero is better in the novels. People are saying I gave up on Shield Hero halfway through the Turtle arc. We'll say the Turtle arc was relatively boring. Okay, the Turtle arc was boring. First of all,
it wasn't boring. It just wasn't as good as the previous season, but it was still good. This season, I just wouldn't even call it good. It's just I'm doing the same thing I did.
The stakes didn't feel like they're there. The stakes didn't feel like they're there. The same level. People are saying Apothecary Diaries is the best of the season.
Yeah, I would make the argument too, but I'm a little bit biased because I am somewhat of an apothecary myself with the tea making, so I have a bit of a personal bias towards all that.
Sure. So you're in a little bit of the bias there, but people are saying they enjoy it, so that's a good one.
It's
so
really good.
Check out Apothecary Diaries. Eminence in Shadow. Think about that. I see some people saying that in the chat. Thoughts, Teaman, Eminence in Shadow?
I dropped it after episode 5. After the comic scene.
So I'm
like, no, I'm done.
Not. Yeah. I knew that was your opinion. I wanted you to repeat it. Parrot Head said, "Weebs." I like it.
This is not Weeb related. I don't know what happened to spark this in my mind, but Critical Role. Do you know that channel / organization?
Sure. What happened with Critical Role?
They released their own like D20 system, but it's more of a D6 system, and it's being what's the right word for this? The opposite of universally praised, universally hated, I guess would be the way to put it.
Well, a D6 system sucks because, like, honestly, there's not enough like variability there. So, like, it's really hard to tune in a D6 system. And rather than using a D20, in fact, the reason why they're using a D6 is probably because like it's maybe slightly cheaper to people to produce D6.
No, they're just giving up on the entire idea of doing anything besides roleplay. So you don't have any hit points. The roll determines how much you succeed. And then even then, there's no like clear set guidelines. It's up to the DM to decide how much of a success your role actually gets you. 3 big failures makes your character die or something along those lines. There's no real.
So I used to play RPGs like that, and actually I kind of enjoy them. But the DM has to be very creative. They have to have a story to tell, right? So it's essentially like, okay, I like those if the DM is like a person I trust. They have a unique story. It's set in a unique world, and you're a character in that world. They're kind of trying to tell the story and let you have a shape in it, right? But they want to have more, be able to manage the actions a little bit more, and also focus a little bit more on the role play rather than just like I shoot magic missile or for example, the problem with D&D is that a lot of times your character ends up doing things that are impractical or don't make any sense, right? If you think about how that would actually play out in a story, like you do something that you're allowed to do under the system, but it doesn't make much sense. Like you're allowed to take a bunch of items out of your inventory and use them on the same round, right? Like, okay, I get you might be able to take out 1 item and use it, but maybe not like 5, right? Before like an enemy who's up in your face can smash you with their sword, right? So you're telling me this guy slashes at you takes a slash at you with a sword, and you have time to like take out a picnic table and assemble it, You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the systems that are D20 are like very rigid. They can end up with situations where you're doing things that are just like preposterous. And there has to be a point with role play where you're just like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. Right? Like you have to just say no, but D&D doesn't allow you to do that. And some of the other more rigid systems don't allow you to do that and actually say, oh no, that's just ridiculous. We're not going to allow that.
Yeah, there were several other things because I watched a few videos some people describing it. Some of the videos from like ultra woke people, to use that term, as people know what type of people they are. Also shitting on the game, just saying like this is awful, and opening the thing with people have told me is this going to like ruin my career, but I gotta say this thing is awful. They have a section how to handle like horror, and apparently it's over half of it is just preaching and trying to tell you, don't judge, and explaining why they took out insanity as a possible thing could be in this game because it's problematic, etc. Just various things along those lines.
And Andrew F., you have a good point here about D20 systems. One thing I don't like with D20 is you can get in a situation where a trained person can never hit a check, but unskilled people can always get lucky and succeed. And that's a huge thing where, like, if you're trying to paint a character, look, like, at a certain point, if you're like, this is the badass fucking knight who studied swordsmanship since he's 6, he swings at a training dummy, he rolls a 1 and completely whiffs it. I'm like, no, just like, no, like a 1 should be like, he hits it and still destroys it, but it's not as epic as it would be in a 20, right? He completely slices a training dummy in half, but it's not in a cool way.
Yeah, my biggest issue with D20 system is the armor system. Or the AC system. I rolled a 17. Yeah, your swing just bounces off his armor and does absolutely nothing. Oh, wait, I forgot this one number. It's actually an 18. Okay, you just did 68 damage and you obliterated him for that one single extra point. I don't like it.
There's no in between there. Like, that's the thing about a D6 or even a D20, even a D20 system where it's role playing. It's like, okay, a 1 is the worst possible realistic outcome, and a 20 is the best possible realistic outcome, and everything in between is a spectrum of that. But it's based on your character's experience versus your opponent versus the realistic situation, all the other factors, like the condition of the person. Are they asleep? Did you literally somebody casted sleep on this person and you roll a 1? Well, you're still probably going to hit them because they're sleeping. Right? Maybe you chop off their big toe, but you're probably not going to miss them. Saint and Sinner PA says, which show will stick the landing with 1 week to go? Will it be Firen or ST Power? Wait, what's ST Power?
I'm not sure.
What's ST Power? Anime? Which anime is that? Saint's Power is Omnipotent. Is that the one you're talking about?
I have no idea.
The Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent. That's 2021. Is that even out right now? Like, what? I don't even know what ST Power is. You're gonna have to clarify, bud. If I see you in the chat with us,
he says yes.
Yes. Okay. I have not watched that one, so I don't know about the Saints Powers Omnipotent.
Frieden is doing 2 seasons, so it's not just the 12 episodes. They're doing 24 to 26.
Let's see. Let me show it real quick.
A lot of people are talking about.
It's the one he was talking about. Just so you guys know, I wanted to show you Saints Powers Omnipotent. Saijo no Marioko wa Bano desu. And Sai, an office worker, is returning late home, but is summoned to a magical world of Silitania. The summoning, however, so it's isekai, however, is one-way kidnapping with no way to send her home. Unfazed, Sai follows her own devices and sets her sights on being a researcher at the Medicinal Flora Research Institute, an establishment known for studying herbs and potions. While indulging in her latest passion, Sai has a fateful encounter with the commander of the Third Order of Knights, but little does she know her aptitude as a saint will continue to exert its influence over her new life. There you go. So, yeah, isekai.
Yeah.
Good stuff. People saying it's good. That's good. No, look, I'll watch it. Look, if you guys are all giving it a glowing review, I'll check it out.
I saw a lot of people talking about Goblin Slayer. I'm still sticking with the artwork for season 2 is nowhere near the level of season 1 of Goblin Slayer.
Did they CGI it more?
I don't know about CGI, but it just doesn't look as good. And the parts that are obviously not CGI are just poorly drawn. Just this what's the
that's no good.
asymmetrical figures and like really stiff nothings. And instead of actually seeing action shots, you just see screenshots of what happened. Just things along those lines. It's just not as pleasing to the eye. But he is still killing goblins, so I'm happy.
Yeah, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Let's see here. Then again, Popcorn Fire. Then again, how often do you fight against a training dummy in D&D? When you're in a live fight, mistakes can be made, and your opponent can do better than expected on an average move. Yeah, but Popcorn Power. That's why I'm saying it's a spectrum, and I'm okay with that being a spectrum. Like, I'm okay with having a scale of like the really powerful opponent misses you or makes a mistake. But what I'm saying is, if it's an extremely if it's extremely uneven fight, your mistakes should be like, let's say you're strong and your opponent is weak, right? You should make less mistakes than your opponent on average. So a 10 for you, D20 system, right? You're a seasoned paladin. Your opponent is a trainee apprentice who's 12 years old, and it's the first time he's picked up a sword, okay? When you roll a 10, you should be pretty much like, like knocking him down, hitting the sword out of his hand, doing something. When he hits a 10, when he rolls a 10, he should be just like holding his own, right? Like it's okay. Like maybe he doesn't trip on himself. That's a 10 for him. It's like not tripping on himself, right? But you get what I'm trying to say? A 20 for you is like blowing him into the next stratosphere. A 20 for him might be actually getting through and like making contact with you, if only barely, right? He's a trainee, right? So like a lucky trainee gets a lucky strike on a veteran. Yeah, that's a 20.
This reminds me way back in the day in World of Warcraft Burning Crusade. We were doing a dungeon and we were waiting for everybody to show up. We were level 70. And so one of the mage characters launched his most powerful level 70 fireball at a rat. And whatever the resistance is, 0.0001% at that point, the rat resisted the fireball. And everyone just bursts out laughing. You just see like power up, giant fireball resist.
Yeah. The power level thing can be there. And real quick, I want to get because Aaron said, I've seen the videos. Aaron had said, I see videos where the small guy beats a big guy, but I want to highlight this. It's not small versus big. It's skilled versus unskilled. Right now, I see a lot of videos where a small guy messes up a big guy, especially in Asia. A lot of people mess with, like in Thailand, there's all these Muay Thai fighters here, right? And a lot of like Westerners, they'll be like, oh, Thais are short, I can take them. They start shit, they get fucked up. I've seen it happen because these drunk assholes, they think, oh, I'm 6. Like, I know that I'm 2 meters, but if I get in a fight with a Muay Thai fighter, they're going to fuck me up. Like, I don't pretend that, because I'm tall, I'm going to mess with, no, or because I'm bigger, no. These little guys can absolutely fuck you up if they know martial arts and you are untrained. So, yeah, I don't see an MMA fighter, right? Like, I don't see a trained MMA fighter, right, that's going to lose to a guy who's legitimately doing his first fight and he has zero training. It's just not going to happen. Now, the new guy might get in a lucky punch in a bare knuckle fight, MMA fight. The new guy might get in a punch. He might get in a hit, but that hit probably isn't going to knock the guy out. Okay? If you're a trained fighter, an undisciplined guy's lucky punch is probably not going to knock you out. It would take a ton of luck to do that. And statistically, it's like, no, the MMA fighter is going to win. It's just how badly does he win? And that's the story you want to tell. It's like you went up against him. Now, he might say like, oh, you did well, right? But he's not going to be like, oh, you just blew me out of the water. And if you read good manga, that's sort of how the story goes, right? The experienced knight fights the newbie and is like, hey, you did well. But the experienced knight usually wins, right? The one with the more skill wins and should win in a good story, right? But yeah, I do agree that I do love this story when muscle-bound idiots think strength is going to mess up a little guy, but the little dude just tires him out faster, or the little dude is skilled. He has actual skills. I love that. That's a great story for sure. But
back when I was learning jiu-jitsu for the first time, I mean,
That's
one of the
different.
people I kept going up against was just the little Mexican guy that was half my size in every which way. But I think once I was able to make him tap out, but almost every time, Like 3 minutes, he made me tap out like 8 times in those 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I just point to like Manny Pacquiao, right? Like if I step in the ring with Manny Pacquiao's fucking me up. And Manny Pacquiao's fucking most people up, right? Like even as an older guy, whatever, he's got training, right?
Kick him in the shin.
Somebody who is training, right, versus somebody who's not. Even like Mike Tyson, somebody who's had experience in the ring. If somebody steps up to Mike Tyson, even now, they're gonna get fucked up, right? Like it's not gonna go well for them. It's not gonna go well for them. People are saying there's a few MMA traders. They're not. I doubt they don't have some sort of fighting experience. Okay, doubt they have that some sort of fighting experience. People say Pathfinder handles trained versus untrained pretty well. Okay, well yeah, maybe. It's been a while since I played D6 and D20 games. It's been a while. It's been a minute. But I always enjoy my minutes with you, Teaman. And as we wrap here, I just want to give you the chance to shill what you want to shill. So, Dragon's Treasure T. What do you got to shill for us today?
Besides my cat.
Besides your cat. I mean, you've got your website.
Man.
You've got your website, and I want to make sure I pull that up here as we give you credit where credit is deserved.
Do something fun. Click on Tees.
Click on Tees.
Then all Tees.
All Tees, not only Tees. Like OnlyFans. Only Tees.
Hover over a couple of them. Yeah, I got waifus behind some of them now.
Yeah.
If you guys want to get yourself some waifus, check out what we got. Not this month. I'm too busy filling people's orders. Today is the last day under our NVIDIA 4090 giveaway.
I like dark chocolate. I'm down with dark chocolate here.
So today's the last day to enter the NVIDIA 4090 giveaway. The teas, some of them come to me as TR, some of them I make them from scratch, some of them I just slightly modify. My goal is to show people who are not really into tea just how amazing tea can be. I am not a snob in that way. So if you think you don't like
wait,
tea,
hold on, Teaman. You do not hold up your pinky finger while you're looking at.
I do not.
You do not do it while you're drinking tea. You don't hold up the pinky. No pinky.
Nope. So if you guys want to try some good old tea or want to give somebody who drinks tea a gift, right now would be a good time. I recommend sooner rather than later because post offices are getting backed up already. What else is there? So yeah, there is the website. Been in business for 8.5 years now.
Awesome.
Stuff for that. There's also the YouTube channel, The Dragon's Treasure. Look that up. Like I said, this past month, I grew more than the previous 23, almost as much as the previous 23 months. So it's been a big growth month for me. The power of abusing the fucking algorithm. I'm honestly not really happy about it.
It works. It works.
Yeah, and I hate it. I hate the fact that it works. I knew it was going to work.
I know trust me, Dragon's Treasure, man. I'm the same way. It's like you hate to use it, but eventually you're like, okay, I'm going to suck it up and use your power for good. All I will say is this. You do it, but use your power for good. Okay. As long as you maintain your morality and you use your power for good, you don't become like, whatever, you go down the dark path of degeneracy.
The path of the quartering.
Yeah. And a lot of other people fall for it. A lot of people.
Yeah. Other names I want to mention, but let's
don't do it. No.
I won't.
Non-drama stream.
Okay. But the way I try and rationalize it to myself is that when I made the Wish video, when I actually had some serious thoughts and not just clickbait garbage, if it wasn't for the boost I gave myself, most people would not have seen it. So look at it like that. I finally got a video that hit 2 million views now, my Naruto video. That's pretty big. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to see if I can make a video on the Twitch stuff and explain in more detail why I'm pissed off about it becoming a softcore porn site now. But otherwise, this month, I'm not going to be making as much because I'm focused on the tea stuff. YouTube is a secondary job for me. It's not the main thing. Mm-hmm. The way I describe it is I take my Chinese cartoons too seriously. If you ever see any of my videos, I do take the stuff that we call fiction extremely seriously because way too many people think, oh, I am my own person. Fiction doesn't affect me. I'm literally never affected. If you were never affected, you would not be so stupid as to use the word literally in a non-literal sense. You just don't realize how affected you are. We teach kids these fictionalized stories because it becomes a part of them. And so I make it a big focus to say, hey, this is not just for entertainment. When you're older, yeah, you're getting entertained, but watch any kid's show. You don't want to show them just absolute mindless garbage. They usually have some kind of a lesson in it, some kind of a story, some little bits and pieces of education. And that's not a bad thing. The bad thing is when it becomes lecturing. So I talk about stories. Yeah. I talk about stories, that importance. In the Wish video, I think the best comment of that, which I get giddy about it, somebody said the video was like a cross of Jordan Peterson and the Critical Drinker. I was like, that is the best compliment I have ever had on this channel.
That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Teaman, I also want to say thank you. You've given me a lot of stuff to cover. I'm definitely going to do videos, may end up being premieres, because you guys love those, on Twitch and on PlayStation, because people need to understand those issues. These are absolutely like huge scandals, and someone needs to talk about them. And not a lot of I don't think a lot of the other law tubers are like talking about that, or other people are talking about it. So I'll bring it up. It's not Disney, but no, it's close. And anything that's big, anything comes up that's like that, I will definitely cover, because this is getting ridiculous.
I know there's been other big stuff, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
But it goes. By the way, the Twitch stuff goes hand in hand with Disney, not because it's Disney, but that's the angle that they're going. The angle that they're going is to sexualize children, right? Which is the sick, perverted way that Hollywood has been pushing us, right? And Disney's been pushing, is to go that direction, which is why everybody feels like they need to go the other direction, is to stop this, stay away from the sexualization of children.
I'm assuming you're aware, but Alex Jones is back on Twitter.
Oh, absolutely. He is killing it on Twitter. He's doing some bomb interviews. He's doing a daily show on X. So yeah, he is back, man. We're back. I feel really good knowing he's back.
Yeah. E3 is finally officially canceled, but I don't think anyone's really surprised.
Nice. Yeah, no one cares. Literally nobody cares. E3 was irrelevant. E3 was irrelevant 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Video
real quick,
game
Camelbot Killer over 2 says, Andrew, I watch 20 new anime or so a week. Dude, Camelbot Killer, like, do you have a job? Like sorry, I love you. I love anime. I love you too, Camelbot Killer. By the way, appreciate the super chat. But I do not have time to watch 20. I can watch a week, probably about, like, we're talking about anime series. I have about like 8 hours, maybe 10 max to watch anime a week. 8 hours is pushing it. Like 1 hour a day, and plus like 1 hour and 15 minutes a day, maybe, right? Like to watch anime, or not even to watch anime, maybe to listen to it, right? Like maybe I have it on and I'm just listening to it. I'm not actually watching the screen. That's about it. So any more than like 6 to 8 hours a week is pushing it. 10 is like a ton. That's like I'm bored that week.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to say a thing, which I've been seeing it more and more. What I'm about to say, I'm not 3 to 5
series a night. Are you talking about like one? You're talking about like one episode of a series, though, right? Like you're not watching a series cover to cover, beginning to end in a night. That's not.
I'm pretty
possible.
sure that's not possible. But if he is doing watching it at like 1.25 or 2 times speed, which apparently more and more people are doing, what I'm about to say, I'm not saying it as an insult. I'm saying it as a genuine concern. Your life is fucked up, and I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm saying that you probably don't realize that something in your life has gone really bad if you're watching any type of medium or listening to music at increased speed. You need to slow the fuck down.
Yeah,
because it's going to cause issues.
Music is a problem.
It's going to cause issues in your life that you are just not aware of yet. Please do not do that. Figure out some way to stop that bad habit.
Yeah,
I'm saying again, out of concern, not being a dick, just out of genuine concern.
No, that's too much. That gets to a level of extremeness that it needs to not happen. Real quick, I want to say this. Yes, Camelot is still per band on X. Once again, that's why I say, like I said earlier, guys, remember, X is not perfect. They're getting better for freedom of speech. So this is what you have to do. This is what I do. Celebrate him for that, but also tell him to free Camelot, right? You can do both. We don't have to be so crazy and so zealous that we can't say, okay, Elon is right to bring back Alex Jones, but he is wrong to keep Camelot banned. I think Camelot should be unbanned. I agree with that. And by the way, and people say free Camelot. And also, I agree with this sentiment. Blue Fire says, I don't like Kumalot, but I never agree with banning somebody off your platform with few exceptions. Look, I think Camelot would say, look, if you don't like me, that's fine, but support freedom of speech. And I agree with that. Even if you don't like somebody, you should never support their canceling. By the way, I don't support removing anybody from a platform other than for reasons that are covered by the Constitution.
I want my original account back. My original account also got banned. I had over 1,000 followers.
You can try.
I have tried. I've tried many times, and I think telling a member of the EU to go get raped by migrants is probably a bit more of a put him a ban type of thing.
Well, and the problem is with here's the problem with X. Here's the problem with X is the laws in Europe are much more difficult. So what they're contending with is the laws in Europe that may say you have to ban somebody over that, or we will take you out of our like stores and platforms, etc. Like the laws in Europe and how they're cracking down, which is a problem for global companies. And it may come a day where you actually have to separate. There has to be kind of a different platform for Europeans and Americans. And like, we have real freedom. I'm sorry. We have a real constitution. Folks over there don't have those same protections and rights. I know it hurts people. They get mad, they get butthurt. But sorry, a lot of your rights are just they're suggestions, right? So your government decides to pass laws that abrogate them. We saw this in Canada. We saw this in Australia.
This happened shortly after Elon Musk took over, and she was a member of some freaking stupid censorship board, and she made some kind of a really, really snappy comment about complying with the EU rules and whatnot. And that's when I made my nice little comment. Because whatever board she was on, it was relevant at the time. It wasn't a random thing. It was relevant to what she was saying in her job. And I stick by it.
Sorry, I'm reading a comment in the chat, and I'm just like shaking my head. Yeah, but like, look, the EU has some things that they may be okay on, like, but I don't really think it's the EU itself. I think there's certain governments in Europe, like Hungary and Poland, that are really based. Like Poland is really based on migration. Hungary is fucking killing it right now. They're like, bring back Trump. He's going to solve all these problems. I'm like, based Hungary.
Dude, that Polish politician that took the fire extinguisher to the
menorah.
Thing. Yeah.
Oh,
like holy crap, dude.
I saw that. I was like, this is Poland. Because Poland makes no apology for the fact that Poland is a Christian country, is a Catholic country specifically. Poland is like zero fucks given. Like, this is Poland. We have a Polish culture. If you don't like it, get out. And frankly, I have no problem with Poland being like that because Poland is Poland, right? So, yeah, it's definitely a thing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I know they're stuck with Tusk now, so that's actually that's going to be an interesting situation there in Poland with Donald Tusk. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Could get weird in Poland for a while. It's an EU globalist, but the majority of Poland is still pretty based from what I remember. Yeah, that's not a coincidence, Aaron. It's not a coincidence.
I'm just casually scrolling through Twitter, and the amount of stuff I'm seeing with the Twitch people is too much.
It's a lot, right? It's a lot. It's time for a break. It's time for a break. All right. So guys, that being said, smash the like button. Make sure that you like this video. We actually have 251 likes, which is awesome. And guys, in the future, I've got a couple interviews that are coming. I'm going to be interviewing in a week or two, Project Egg Roll, I think in 2 weeks. So those guys are coming on. I'm going to have my stream that I'm going to eventually be catching up on, like comparing my predictions of Disney to a year ago. I am going to do a members only stream. There's also some other news I want to catch up to. In addition to the news you just talked about today, I'm going to record those videos like right now, honestly, on Twitch and on PlayStation. This is absolutely crazy. So that said, go check out Dragon's Treasure. Stay based, and I'll catch you next one, guys. Peace.